Chandra said. She asked me about a couple months ago if I could come and talk to you guys. And I feel that's my responsibility. And first off, I have to say thank you for all coming. And I'm assuming, I'm going to go with the fact that it wasn't Rice Krispie Squares that brought you here today, but it was me. It was the Rice Krispies, because he's got them all over his shirt, right? It's like, no, it wasn't the Rice Krispie Squares, it was you. But I enjoy giving presentations because part of my job, I'm kind of like the Wolverine in the superhero movies. Nobody ever sees me. I drive an unmarked vehicle. Nobody even knows we exist. And they'll say, dog section? Who's in the dog section? Well, I'm in the dog section. And for me, you guys are all tax-paying people. And your taxpayers pay my wage. So that's what I feel like I need to give back and show you where your tax dollars is not the ticket you get on the side of the road by the police officer. It's not just him, it's me too. So it makes me happy. So and this is my way of showing you what I do as a job. So a couple things about my presentation, and I give presentations from kindergarten classes all the way through. You name it, I've been there. So a couple things. I don't bring the dog in right off the bat. And this is for the kindergarten kids, because as soon as I bring the dog in, nobody hears a word I say. It's like the Peanuts teacher, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the dog, oh, let's see the dog. And plus, I have to set out the game rules, right? The rules of engagement. If I bring the dog in, I don't want any meowing or barking or running. And believe me, the only reason I say that, because I've been through it all. I'll tell them, don't run. Please don't run. And as soon as I bring the dog in, somebody runs. Well, my police dog, he could care less about animals, because what's his fun time? It's people. And saying that, are you afraid of dogs? Okay, you have nothing to be afraid of. I can let them loose in here. They could care less who you are, okay? Because my dogs, unlike your pet, will only bite when they're told to bite. They're not like, you know, you see these movies, oh, the police dog's attacking someone. The only reason he's attacking someone is because he's been told to do that. You know, your pet, where you take his cookie away and he bites you on the fingers, like, hey. My dog would never do that, because he knows when he's allowed to bite, and otherwise he doesn't bite. So, and another thing here, if you have any questions at all, just ask me, okay? Because I know a lot of civilians never get an opportunity. You got a cornered market here, you can ask me anything. And if I don't know, I'll make it up. And just so you know, if you have white hair, and I've got a few, it's not too old to join the RCMP, because we're hiring hard, okay? Just cheat on your ID, just say born 70, you're good to go, okay? So, I'm joking, but anyway, it's all about you. You have a question for me, if I don't know, I'll lie, we'll all be good, okay? And so, first of all, been with this for 20 years, 10 years in the dog section. I joined the RCMP to join the dog section, because to be quite honest, you have to love dogs like no one else in the world to be in the dog section. I just got a new dog this spring. I've had 3 other dogs, and I still have 2 of them as pets, and my son has another one, because I can't give them up, right? They're like giving up your kids. People say, wow, why don't you just get rid of them? Really? After saving my life for 10 years, I'm just going to say, oh, thanks a lot, have a good life. I keep them. My new dog, I'm kind of like some of you guys. You know, maybe you had a child late in life, maybe a mistake. And it's like, our kids are all 30, and we have a newborn that's pooping his pants. It's like, don't you know how to change your own diapers? That's what I'm dealing with right now, all day long, in the back of the car. And it's like, I'm past this. I'm past it. I've had old dogs. I don't need barking, but you start all over again. So you have to love dogs. I smell like a dog all the time, and that's life, right? Yeah, it's true. My wife says, "Shy, dog." Anyway, what do I do? What are you paying for when I'm at work? What do you think I do with the dog? And I'm not just a chauffeur, which I really am, and I do the computer work, because if he could drive, I'd be out of a job. But what do I do? And this is hands up, because if you don't, I'll, yes, in the back.
You probably patrol like everyone else.
Yeah, I do a lot of patrolling, yep. Finding bad stuff going on. What do I do with the dog in my capacity as a dog handler? What's that? Excellent. How do I find people?
Scent.
Scent, yes. Go on, carry on. You just gotta throw it out there. Follow up. Smell, yeah, what smell?
Human.
Let's dig deeper. Okay, here it is. I'm standing up here, and don't judge me. Just hold on. And I get distracted really easily. So you guys have to keep track of where I'm at, because I could go off here, and Chandra's going to keep track of where I'm at. Anyway, scent. I'm standing up here. If I go like this with my pants. Look at that. No. No. If I lift up my pants, what's happening? What's falling out of my pants? I wish money. I'm with the RCMP. There's no money falling out of my pants. Now, don't judge me, because all you guys are stinky too. If I go like this, what's falling out of my pants? Skin. Piles and piles of skin. That's why when I bring my dog in here, he goes crazy, because it's like a dessert buffet. Now, you guys aren't so bad. It's the kindergarten classes. Wowee. It's full on, because that's some stinky kids, right? He goes crazy. You guys are stinky enough. So all that skin, and that's what he's trained to follow, is skin. When you see in the movies, you know, you see the movie where, oh, my grandpa, he's gone mission. Here's his hat. Go find him. That doesn't work. My dog can't smell this and go, oh, I'll pick him out of the crowd. Thanks for your hat. That's a fantastic hat. Okay, it doesn't work that way. What happens is, and this is in case of you guys, you know, that we have a demographic much like myself, a little past our, you know, the middle of our lives. You know, you have a loved one or something. I wake up in the morning, they're gone. Oh my goodness, where are they, right? I have to know where the last place they could have gone. Because if they run out across the field, I have to know that, because I'm going to bring the dog to that, and he's going to smell your skin like breadcrumbs, right? And he's going to follow that. If someone goes missing downtown Penticton at Peach Fest, not going to happen, because there's a lot of skin happening, right? So I need to place the last place that person was, and that's how I track. It's like breadcrumbs, and the dog can follow that. We've had cases where I've tracked miles and miles in good areas. You know, you have the bush or the green grass fields. You can follow forever. Downtown, not going to happen, right? I worked in Surrey before this. Tracking was nearly impossible. If you were there 2 minutes after something happened, it's too late. So tracking, finding people. Much the same thing. Finding people, I'm looking for scent in the air, right? A missing person's hiding in the trees. He's going to smell it. We're not necessarily going to track their footprint to footprint. Missing people. Those are probably the big ones. Missing people, lost people, and trying to find someone that's, you know, leaving a crime. Yeah, well, if we're tracking someone and they drop something, for sure, the dog will indicate on, because it has a human scent on it, right? Well, a lot of times we find objects. Well, this is a segue into something else. You know, you go to rob, let me have your walking stick there. If I'm going to rob a store, and give me all your money, right? I'm pretty nervous, right? What's happening to this? My sweat gravy is all over this, right? So when I throw it into the trees, it's lots of scent from this, right? Which goes into my other favorite part of this job. I need something like this. I'm just going to borrow it. My favorite part of the job, and don't judge me for this, what is it? What's that?
Cleaning up poop.
Okay, she is not allowed to answer any more questions. My favorite, that makes my heart warm.
Finding lost people.
No, well, okay. That's my favorite part of the job.
The boundaries that you got with the dog.
No, come on.
Going to Tim Hortons for coffee.
No. Yeah, this is a tough crowd I'm working with today. No, my favorite thing.
Apprehending the suspect.
Thank you. We call it criminal apprehension now. I call it bite work. I call it judge and jury. Okay? When bad guy breaks into your house, you wake up, and this happened a couple weeks ago. Wakes up in the middle of the house in the night and hears someone rustling around. He's got the keys to his car. He just smashed the window. What would make your heart warm when I show up? Somebody screaming in the backyard because my dog's on top of them, and I'm fighting the dog to get a piece of action, right? That's going to make your heart warm, and that makes my heart warm too, right? Because I know in 6 months he's going to go, it wasn't me, Judge, it wasn't me. We all know it was him, right? Because he's got pockets full of your stuff. So that is my favorite part of the job. Saying that, I'm going to do a demo in here. I'll find an unlikely participant. I'm going to have an arm guard on, okay? Why would I train the dog to bite my arm? I like this stick. Okay, I'm robbing you. This is a big sword I have, okay? Give me all your money. Okay? What am I going to do as the bad guy when a 100-pound dog bites me right here and wants to make this bone his property so he could bury it in the backyard? What am I thinking about as the bad guy? I'm thinking about, oh my goodness, I am going to die. Because my own dogs have bit me numerous times. And still, I know what's going to happen. I know what it feels like. And still at the time, I think, I'm going to die. Because he's thinking of only one thing. It's taking this bone out and putting it in the backyard, right? So as a bad guy, I'm not worried about the sword anymore. I'm worried about this Tasmanian devil on my arm. So that's why we train on the arms. Another place we train is the legs. You know how hard it is to run when you got a dog trying to eat the calf out of the back of your leg? Not very easy, right? So we train the legs and the arms. Go ahead.
Is the dog trained to attack whichever arm has the weapon? Because if a left-handed person...
Well, excellent question. You know, you always stump me with a new question. Generally, if I'm the bad guy, I'm presenting the weapon in the and the dog will zone in on that. Saying that if I know a guy's got weapons, a gun or a knife, I'm not going to send my dog on him. I'm not going to send my dog on him unless there's harm to another person, harm to myself, then because you're basically sacrificing the dog. I spend way too much time training that dog. I've committed way too much to just send my dog into the fire, right? I'm not just going to say, oh, go get the guy with the gun, because the first thing he's going to do is shoot him. Right? I'm not going to do that. My wife and son are at the back there, and it drives my wife crazy, but I spend more time with my dogs than I do my entire family combined. People say, oh, it's so cruel. You keep your dog in the back of your truck all day. Really? Where's your dog? In a cage at home? My dog spends minimum 12 hours a day with me, all day long, playing catch. You name it, he's doing it, swimming all summer. So I spend way too much time, and if I lose that dog, I have to go back to Innisfil, Alberta for 3 months. Imagine how happy my wife is about that. Not so happy. What's that?
It smells nice. We know where you...
And no, it's not. It's no Penticton.
We know where you...
Yeah. Yes.
How much pressure a dog can when he bites?
I've got someone to do the demo with me. A lot. All I'm going to say is a lot. And this is part of my other presentation. I'm flying at it.
I thought it was 460 pounds.
Well, I don't know what it is. It's more than 460 pounds. What I'm going to say is, why a German Shepherd? This is kind of the second part. Do I have till 1? Yeah. Okay, don't kick me out before then. I got a lot to go through here. Why a German Shepherd? Why do we use German Shepherds?
They're smart.
They're smart, yeah. Are they the smartest? No. A B student. Right? B student. We all know what the grades are because they don't use that anymore, because in school now, what is it? You did really good, excellent, they're phenomenal. There's nothing beyond that. You know, they're a B student. Why else do we use a German Shepherd? What's that?
They're loyal.
Excellent, loyal, yeah. Strong, what's that?
Reputation.
Excellent, reputation. Okay, here's a situation. Your house is getting broken into, right? Got bad guy cornered in the bedroom. I'm going, yeah. I pull up my mother-in-law, who I really can't stand. I've taken her Bichon Frise for the weekend, right? And I go, stop, bad guy. I'll send my dog, right? Bichon Frise. What's he going to go? He's going to go, that member looks pretty ugly, but that dog, I got him beat. If I come in with a 100-pound German Shepherd, and I've had a whole mix, my oldest one's about 110 pounds of terror. He looks at it and goes, I don't think I'm going to risk it, right? And I rarely get to bite people. The dog rarely gets to bite people. Because my rule is, if I have to run more than 500 feet, someone's getting bit. Because as much as you think I look like a superhero, I'm not built for speed. So I probably got a pretty good sweat on, right? And it's probably 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not too happy about this. Someone's going to get bit. And when they see me come around the corner and they see the dog frothing at the mouth, they're going, I give up. Which, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to bite them. Because I look at the dog and I classify the dog much like our baton. You know what the baton looks like? In today's day and age of video cameras and cell phones, when Buddy puts his hands up, hey, I want to send you to the library if you keep talking. I tell the kindergarten kids that. 2 strikes. Okay. See, you got distracted me now. Chandra, hands up. Someone in some window has a video camera, a guy puts his hands up, and I go, oh yeah, cool, get him. Boom, the dog nails him, I'm on top. What's the public going to say about that? Yeah, I'm going to be working traffic, writing you guys tickets instead of doing this, right? Can't happen. My dog, every year we have an exam together as a team. I have to show that I have a guy running, and I have to send the dog, and right before he gets him, no, back. He has to come back. You know how hard is that for a dog? We talk about loyalty. If you didn't care who I was, he'd go, oh, yeah, right. Bang, I'm going to nail him. I can't have that. That's my job hanging there. So people ask, how often do I train? Every single day, because I can't afford to slip up. If he gets out of the truck, I can't have him running around tagging people. There's no way. I'm out of a job, right? Liability now, because as soon as they realize it's a police dog, we're getting sued. Yeah, it's work all the time. Like all day long, people, all the other guys, the officer, oh, you never do paperwork. Yeah, but I'm training that dog all the time. Even coming in here is training. All these people, he's going, okay, what am I here for? What's going on? He has to know that unless I tell him to bite someone, you know, he has to be cool.
Where's the dog now?
He's in my truck. And as a special surprise, because I think someone saved me, what is it, half a donut? Somebody saved me half a Timbit? Okay, because you saved me half a Timbit, a whole Timbit, it looks squished though. Okay, because you saved me a squished Timbit, I brought 2 dogs today. Not 1, but 2 dogs today. I brought my friendly dog, my middle child dog, and I brought the new boy. And you can see the difference. I always wanted a tiny dog because my first one was about 110 pounds, the next one was about 90 pounds. I said, please just give me a little dog. They gave me a little dog, yeah. He's 54 pounds of terror. But he is on fire all the time. If you lit a dog's tail on fire, that's this dog all the time. Yes? Belgian Malinois? They tried that in the 90s. They were actually going to convert over to Belgian Malinois. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason we're not using them, this is from my perspective, this is in the RCMP's perspective, is they're too smart for us. I don't think a lot of dog handlers, myself included, are that brilliant. And a Belgian Malinois is a very smart and a very, very determined dog. You obviously know what they're like, because yeah, most people don't even know they exist. They look like a smaller, lighter German Shepherd, but those dogs are possessed. Like, not possessed, evil possessed, but determined. Yeah, like they get on something, holy moly, you gotta have a tough hand because they need to be corrected, right? Where a German Shepherd, oh yeah, dopey, yeah.
Can you explain to me again your liability issue?
Uh-oh, lawyer here.
No.
Who invited him?
I'm just curious because you did mention.
Okay, liability.
Of all the,
Okay, liability, now today's day and age. Yesterday, I'm driving around town. I see a car. I think, those plates don't look like they match that car. I take in behind him, he takes off. We're driving around at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, driving like hellions around town, Westminster and stuff. They say, stop pursuing. Liability is, if I follow him and he crashes into another car and kills them, it's not his fault, it's my fault. If I stop pursuing him and he runs over somebody, it's my fault because I stopped pursuing him, right? You guys heard about Saskatchewan a couple months ago, right? Where they had that stolen cars in a yard and the guy takes off and they end up killing 3 people. The police weren't even pursuing him. Now the backlash is, why did the police not continue to pursue him? Because we can't win, right? If we do it, if my dog gets out and does anything wrong, it's me, okay? It's not anyone else, it's me, because I got this uniform on. And no different if you had a dog and it runs in a neighbor's yard and eats their cat.
no, but if you're doing your job and you're assuming.
Are you running for the new commissioner?
It's a good friend of mine. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just curious. I'm not trying
Yeah, no, it's,
to torque you here.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because you say, with the advent of all those
Yeah.
smartphone videos
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff,
yeah,
that it makes your job more difficult
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I would have thought it's the other way.
well, see, people have asked me, they say, do you want recorders on you, video recorders? And this is a little off topic from the dog thing. I would love that. I would love to have a video recorder because you can see how much of a, sorry my language, your husband is when I stop him for an impaired. When he says, I wasn't doing anything wrong. And that police officer was so rude to me and I was nothing but polite to him. It's all right here. I want to see the video because it's him screaming at me about how I should get a real job and how I should be about protecting the public. It's not me, it's him. And I love people, and I do the best job I can possibly do, and I try to do with, uphold the law in any way, but mistakes happen with the dog. The dog's a dog. If he bites someone, someone's got a video camera, I can justify it because of my training, but all it takes is someone to interpret differently. And you go on Facebook. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook. Oh, the police this, the police that, blah, blah, blah. You can't win as a police officer, right?
Well, you must find it frustrating then.
It's very frustrating.
What I'm saying is you're always looking over your shoulder then.
Oh.
If you're taking down...
No, I don't. I don't look over my shoulder because you know what? I know in my mind I'm doing the right thing. And as long as I can say I'm doing the right thing in good conscience, I don't have to look over my shoulder. If I was one of these, and there are bad police officers, don't get me wrong. If I was on the gray area, working the gray area, I'd be looking over my shoulder going, ugh. I've been doing this 20 years and I've never had a complaint against me because I do the right thing. Because I can't stand being in trouble. Ever since I was a little kid, even my wife will tell me, I'll get a migraine if I don't tell her exactly what I did and I try to hold anything from her. I'll get a migraine and she'll go, so what are you doing now? It's like, oh, I bought this car. Right? So I know I don't have to look over my shoulder, but with a dog, you've got a loose cannon there. That's why you have to train them all the time and always be ready, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. Go ahead.
It seems, what I've seen, the majority of the dogs are male, and is that on purpose, or is it just based on who passes or fails their training?
You tell me. Because you know what? My wife's here. She's a female. And I'm not going to foray into the male-female thing. I'm going to tell you there's 144 dogs in the RCMP dogs. Oh, that's strike two, Missy. I'm going to move you away from your boyfriend pretty quick here. It's like two girls and
They're both boyfriends.
That's my kind of girl. Okay. Anyway, no more distracting me. 144 dogs in the RCMP. And as a general duty dog, there's specialty dogs. We won't talk about them. How many female dogs out of 144?
I'd say less than half.
I think there's 4 or 5. And it ranges between 4 and 5. And, okay, here's the situation. You live in a cul-de-sac. There's that woman that everyone knows, don't mess with her. Because if you get one of those puppies that's a female that you go, don't mess with her, she's a really good police dog, you make her into a mom. Because you want all her bitch genes come down to those dogs. If you take a really good male police dog, which most of them have the genes to be good police dogs, and then get a female that's got the same traits, it's going to make a phenomenal dog, right? So now saying that, 144 handlers like myself, how many are female? 3. There's 3 or 4. And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's the muddy boots, the dirty pants. I don't know what it is. I had a Corey down the Lower Mainland. My wife just told me yesterday she's pregnant now. And unfortunately, as bearer of children, it really curbs your career, right? And it's such a commitment. People don't realize. To get in the dog section now, it's 8 to 10 years. If you start out tomorrow as an RCMP officer, it's going to take you 8 to 10 years to get in to be a dog handler. And in that 8 to 10 years, you're volunteering every spare second. You're raising dogs, you're doing it all. What is the best skill of a police dog? What is the most important skill of a police dog? Obedience. Exactly. Yeah, you know what? The kids never get this one. You guys all know it. Because we're from the era where it's obedience. Kids should be obedient, right? But they don't like that nowadays in the school. They don't dig the obedience part. I still think kids should be obedient. But yeah, obedience. Because if they're not obedient, I've got trouble on my hands, right? This dog knows how to bite, and he likes to bite people. So if he doesn't have the loyalty and the obedience, I'm in trouble, right? And when I bring the dogs in, I'll show you. As much as he wants to bite my arm, like with the arm guard on, I'm the king. And I decide when he gets to do it, and that's obedience. And that's respect, right? So, yes?
How long does it take to train an animal, like on an average?
A dog? That's a good question. My dog graduated when he was about 18 months old from training, which is super young. Usually it's 2+. And as far as training goes, it's every day. You know, if I miss a week, are there any teachers, retired teachers in here? No. You remember your kids after Labor Day weekend, math class, they'd sit there and go, you never taught us this last year. I know you never. I don't know 1 + 1 in grade 9. I don't know this. My dog will look at me the same thing. What do you mean sit? I don't know what that means. So training's every day. Okay, sit. Okay, and he's looking at me like, I know this, but I leave it a week and he'll go, I don't know what you're talking about, right? So training until the day they retire, that's it. Go ahead.
So, is the puppy trained from date of birth, or do you wait?
Well, basically what happens at 8 weeks old at Innisfil, somebody who's been here at Innisfil, at 8 weeks old, they take the litter and then they assess them. And they can tell at 8 weeks old, police dog or not police dog. They can tell right there. You put your hand in the cage and the dog runs and hides behind mom, pet. You have the dog that comes out and bites you on the finger. It's like, I want that one.
So they're normal puppies up until that date?
Yeah. And they assess them all. Like at kennels, they're phenomenal. They know exactly what they're doing with the puppies. They know exactly what stimulate them with and everything. And they can tell at 8 weeks. And they'll ship them out. And then guys that want to get in the dog section will start raising them. And then through that training regime, at about close to 2 years old, they'll know how they're working out. Some dogs, you'll have a phenomenal dog and everything. You get to training with it and it goes, no, I'm not really cut out for this. And it's like, really? You know? Or my first dog, super aggressive, which is fantastic. But it's you know, you can't cross the line. I worked him in Surrey, great dog in Surrey, not so nice here. Do I want to bring him in a room full of civilians? Probably not. Go ahead.
When do they retire them?
Excellent question. Usually about 8 years old is about the shelf life of a police dog. They're big, jumping in and out of the truck all day, pulling me around with a harness. About 8 years old. I've kept all my retired dogs, and I don't retire them when they're broken. I retire them the first instance I see something. It's like, okay, you're done. Like the Mako, when I bring him in, he's only 7.5 now. He retired 2 years ago because I took him out for a walk one day and I noticed his back end was just a little weird. And I said, that's it, he's done. Because he's worked for me for all the least I could do is give him a nice life. If I retired him, next day I have to put him down. How much fun is that, right? He lives on a farm now and runs around chasing stuff all day. Go ahead.
How do they match an officer with a dog? Is it like a service dog, or do you get to choose the dog, or how does that work?
Well, what happens is a guy wants to get in the dog section. He's raising dogs. My dog gets injured. They'll say, okay, we got a dog. You go to training. Luckily, Harrow, the guy that was working alongside me, my apprentice, so to speak, he raised that dog. And then when I needed a new dog, I just took that dog. And we kind of planned it out age-wise for that. Because I'd been with him his whole life. And believe it or not, we still didn't work out some of the kinks. But it's all right. Go ahead.
Do all the dogs get their basic training at Innisfil?
Yes and no. Most of the year they do, but is anyone from the prairies here? January in Innisfil? Good place to be? Probably not, no. Yeah, so I trained Harrow in the Lower Mainland from January till May of last year because it's green, it's grass, you can track. You can't learn how to track in the snow, and when it's 40 below and blowing, it's not ideal situation. So we train, all the training happens there except for once a year they'll train the Lower Mainland in the springtime.
What happens if you take a day off?
Who?
Is there such a thing?
Well, there is a day off, but I have the dog. I had a guy ask me a while ago, he said, oh, I really want to be a dog handler. He's so excited to do this. I said, oh, great. He goes, can I leave the dog at the kennel when I'm on days off? I said, you're fired. I bought a motorhome to carry all my dogs with me. My dogs don't deliver. Do you put your kids in a kennel when you go away on holidays? I know we want to. But do we know? I took 3 weeks holidays this summer. I got the dog every day, 2 hours of running. What's that?
And you want to cruise?
No cruising. I keep my dogs with. When I go out of the country, of course they go to a kennel. But on days off, no, I got the dog. Yeah. So that's why I said you gotta love dogs, because even 7 o'clock on your day off in the morning, and it's like bark, bark, bark. I want outside. I got to run around. That's where I'm going, right? So, question.
How big a range do you have?
How big a range? Excellent question. Basically, the south end of Peachland to the border. Do you know where the Works Yard is in Manning Park? From there to Rock Creek. That's our area. When I was in Saskatchewan, there was times I covered from Saskatoon south, Manitoba to Alberta. We'd put on 80,000 kilometers a year on our trucks. So yeah, you'd stack a few miles on. Here it's a smaller area, and it's nice because there's only so many roads. In Saskatchewan, you know, it's like every mile there's a road, and yeah. So yes.
Two-part question is all the dogs have flak jackets, and are the flak jackets specifically fitted for each animal? Or?
No and no. I know there's something in the media a couple weeks ago. About someone donated a bunch of jackets to the dogs. I'm going to go back to the point where I said about weapons before. You never know if a bad guy has a weapon. You always assume that they do. If I have any suspicion a guy has a weapon, I'm not sending my dog. Saying that, it's like me. If someone wanted to kill me, it's pretty easy. Shoot for my head, right? And a dog, a flak jacket covers the mass, right? And to shoot a dog would be almost impossible. All you're stopping is knife, really, and you know, to have a jacket. Another problem is here, a huge component of our job is tracking. How much do you think my uniform weighs? I'm actually about 105 pounds. And ladies, I know it looks like I have a pot belly, but I don't. I'm ripped under this. But my uniform weighs about 60 pounds. Okay, so add in a vest, I have a couple vests for the dogs at my office, is not much smaller than this vest, which is about 20 pounds. You add that to a 55-pound dog, that's like me carrying 75 pounds, right? So that's a lot of weight. Okay, we track, a couple weeks ago, we had a track down Oliver Mountain. It took us 4 hours, probably 15 kilometers. Well, exactly, you know. So that's it's a compromise, okay. Am I going to put him in a position where he's going to get shot? Well, I hope not, because I got a 6-foot leash, and I don't want to be 6 feet away from someone trying to shoot my dog, because they're going to shoot me too, right? So, no, they don't have flak jackets, and well, they do at the office. They have them, but do we ever use them? No, I've never used one. It's too much stress on the dog too. Like, they have enough back and knee problems as it is. You throw a weight on top of them. I'm a new to the area, so I take him out training somewhere up by Fairview Road, and I throw the ball, and he's like, ugh, and I go, what are you doing? And he pulls his paws up, and they're covered in cactus. And it's like, oh, man, I didn't even know that existed, right? So yeah, I pick him up, you know. I'll pick him up and carry him. You know, you got to try to put booties on and stuff like that, but unless you've trained them with that, it's such a distraction that, like, they're more thinking about their feet. And, like, I got him a e-collar there the other day, and all I can think about is this e-collar, and he's scratching it, and it's like, no, just concentrate on what we're doing here. So, yeah, the cactus is a big thing. Anything like that, any environmental things, you got to be really careful about. I know when that house burnt down on the lake there a while ago, they wanted me to search the rubble. Well, they got these big piles of garbage, like the house all mashed up, and it's like, I can't put the dog in this. Like, there's glass and nails and everything. And as I say, he's my friend. You know, I'm not going to put him into something, knowingly put him into something that's going to harm him. Because if he's not working, I'm not working, right? So I'm not going to risk it.
Do they have a special diet, or like sometimes you see in border security they're given treats or whatever, but is it quite a restrictive diet?
Just store-bought dog food. Really good stuff, like it's $90 a bag. And it's saying that when my dogs retire, they still need the same food, so then it's me that's paying for that. You know, people say, oh yeah, you should keep your dog. Well, it's $200 a month to feed them, so yeah. But, you know, you gotta love them. Yeah. Okay, who wants to see the dog? Yeah. Okay, so we know the ground rules. No barking, no meowing, no running, right? Stuff like that. Got it? Okay, and don't be afraid. I'm gonna, well, you can, if you ask me to pet him, I'll let you pet him later, but don't distract him with, when he's trying to bite me, right? So I'll bring Mako in first. He's the old guy. He's about 85 pounds, and he's retired. And so you can see he still has it. I don't train with him ever, but he still knows what to do because it's in his blood. I had a case a couple weeks ago, and I'm tracking bad guys who ran from the car. I'm watching them run from the car, and I jump on the top of the bad guy, and I go, where is the dog? And he's eating apples in the orchard. It's like, really? But I put the blame on me. Yeah. Did I ever train in that environment where it's like a buffet? No, I didn't. And he's got a food hang up. So it's like, apples sweet everywhere. And I'm yelling, get over here and help me. Right? So, yeah, they're animals. You know, you didn't eat my last Timbit, did you? Oh no, it's coffee she's having. Okay. So I'll get the dog, I'll bring in the first one, and then I'll bring in the monster. So think of some good questions, and I'll be right back. Okay, kids. Okay, he loves this more than anything, right? But you always have to have a secret weapon, and it's this. And don't ask me, somebody asked me, oh, can we buy a secret weapon? No, it's a weapon, it's my secret weapon because he loves it. Why does he love this? What's on the end of it? No, what's on the end here? There's one in every crowd. This thing. Who holds on to that? Exactly. So when he's playing with it and I'm holding it, he's got my attention, right? Stay. He wants to play with Dad all the time. That trumps this any day of the week, right? Stay. See, that's all he wants. You have to have a secret weapon or else I'm in trouble. Because if all he wants is this secret weapon, how am I ever going to get him off the bad guy? Here. Down. Down. Now, this is Mako. He's 7.5 down. And I use him. He's my demo dog because he's Mako the Beautiful, right? He is gorgeous. And he's so well behaved. I could let him in a room of kindergarten kids and they could ride him all afternoon and he wouldn't care. Everyone thinks police dogs are out just biting people. Stay. And also, he's well behaved. He hasn't worked in 3 years. No, sit. Sit. No, stay. Yeah, hey. Oh. So, because what does the bad guy do, right? He doesn't go, oh my goodness, he's chewing my arm, he's screaming. I scream in here, but then the police are coming out here. Right? So, see, he wants the secret weapon. No. Okay. There, yeah, good boy. Right? That's obedience. Now, take a little snapshot in your mind of beautiful Mako, and I'm going to get Harold the Terrible. Now, Harold the Terrible is just as friendly, but he's on fire. So I'll go get him. Come on, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Okay. Oh, I know. So this is my ADD child. I know, it's so exciting. Now, hey, no, down. No. See, he's just very excited. Hey, shh. Okay. I'll pacify him with that so we can talk. He turned 2 in September, so he's just a baby. Don't wreck my mic or they'll get mad. Okay. And he's just got a lot of energy. Remember I said about loving dogs? Yeah, this is loving dogs. And he could go all day long like this. The nice thing is, he's worth it. He's worth it because he's so friendly. You know, and when I first got in, I thought, oh, it's nice to have a mean dog. No, it's not. Because it proves nothing, right? And all you're doing is worried about him biting, right? So he's a super friendly dog, but he's just got lots of energy. It's a good boy. It's a good boy. Okay. Here. Him and Mako get along great. The older guy, no, not so much. Okay, sit. Here. No, sit. Stay. See, and he selects the secret weapon. No, sit. Stay. Okay. Oh, that's a good boy. Now I can feel that. And his size, he's only what, 6 pounds. Oh, they're going to me with this. Oh. Now I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't matter if he was 20 pounds. You feel that on your arm? I'm telling you. I'm taking that. Okay, you're gonna have to stick this on. Step into the inner circle. That's the way I lure him in. Oh yeah. This is where complaints are. Oh, yeah. See, and in training, I'll beat him up. I won't really beat him up, but I'll pull his ears. Because that's what a bad guy is going to do, right? He's going to pull on his ears. He's going to grab his paws, which makes him more mad, which is good, right? Because I can feel him in my arm now. Out! Heel! Out! Heel. No, out.
You can take a lot of work then.
Okay, you bet he is. He's that last kid you had when you had 2 great kids. You went, oh, we're so good at parenting. Okay, I'm gonna put him away and come right back. Okay, yes. Hold on.
You have to worry about damage to your shoulder if you're doing that training.
Yeah, I'm a wreck. Yeah, no, seriously, I am. I got a chiropractor on hold for me. No, yeah, it is hard, you know. Well, it's not so much even the biting. The biting is, you know, you get used to it after a while, but it's the tracking, you know. I'm still in my early 30s, and be nice. As I get older and more mature, like some of you, it takes a beating. I'm like that old car that it's a taxi that's from the 50s, and they're going, he's got to retire that car and buy a Prius. Yeah, I'm kind of that car now. Yeah, so yeah, you take a beating, but you know what? What are you going to do otherwise? I'm going to sit in the office all day? No way, right? Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, when you're on shift, it's a 12-hour shift.
10s. Yeah, we work 10s, yeah.
So the dog is with you for the 10 hours.
Yeah.
Are you always in the vehicle, or are you in the office? What happens?
A mix of everything. I'll patrol the area.
What happens to the dog?
Sits in the car.
He stays in the truck.
Yeah, yeah. And people go, oh, it's so cruel, but every hour I'm out. Oh, we got the ball throw. We're going to go for 15 minutes throwing the ball. Oh, we're going swimming. Like, he doesn't give me a break. The old dogs, I could let them sit for hours, and they're fine. But not the new one. As soon as I get in there, it's Dad. It's been 15 minutes. Let's go, right? So, and you got to keep them interested and stuff like that. But yeah, he's going all the time. And as a dog handler, I'll sit in the office after an hour. It's like I'm ADD enough, so it's like, oh, I got to get out of here. So it's an excuse to get out of the office.
Do they all live in the house together?
No, they're all outside. And even when I lived in Saskatchewan, they lived outside. And people think, oh, it's terrible. It's 45 below. The problem is if you have them inside and then you got to go do a track outside, it's like, oh, it's too cold. You have to get them climatized to that.
I'm thinking the other way, though, you mentioned working in the office for an hour, leaving the dog in the car, and it's 38 degrees outside, pretty warm in the car.
Oh, we leave them running all the time.
You leave the car running?
Yeah, with the air conditioning on, yeah. Yeah.
Asking for someone to steal the car?
Well, we got secure lock and stuff. Actually, I just changed my office, and I put a cage in my office because I hate leaving my car running because it's bad for the environment, so I can bring the dog in the office. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now that you're in your early 30s,
Yes.
how many years do you think before you have to give up being a handler?
Well, you know, they say in the dog section you're only one bad step away from an office job. It's true. Yeah, like I've got 20 years service, and I'm hoping to go 30. But that'll put me high 50s. So yeah, you never know, you know, and I'm too stubborn to stop. So, you know, they have to take my leg off before I'd stop. Yeah, well, yeah, it keeps me busy, you know, for sure. And it keeps you motivated, keep in shape. You've seen those members out there, and I won't name names, that are obviously out of shape. And I have to run with them every once in a while, and they'll last the first 100 feet and go, oh, I'm tired. It's like, really? Being a dog section, I have to go to the gym every day and keep in shape, because otherwise you can't keep up with the dog, right? And how demoralizing is that, right? So, yes.
Is the work stressful on the dog?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the dogs feed off me. If I'm looking for a missing person and looking for a bad guy hiding in the bush, you would think that the dog would have no idea telling the difference because they're both people hiding in a bush. The dog can tell from me just about my adrenaline. They can smell the adrenaline. They can smell everything. They know how the way I go to the call. You know, they can tell. And when I'm out there and I'm loosey-goosey, oh, we're looking for a missing person. He's not going to bite them, hopefully, right? But I have to be aware of that. He might bite them because he doesn't know it's not a bad guy. But they can tell from their adrenaline. And this guy is very, like yesterday when I was chasing that car around town, lights and sirens, he's in the back, he's going crazy because he knows what's coming. If that guy stops, we're going out, right? So yeah, it is stressful on them that way. That's why I live on a farm. So weekends are weekends, be a dog. You know, some guys don't let their dog go, oh, we're just going to work. No, be a dog, go chase stuff, you know, be a dog.
Can you tell when they've had too much stress and you need to retire them as well as the physical?
Like PTSD for a dog? Like PTSD for a dog, something like that? Yeah, you can tell. They usually get, like anyone, you know, someone's under a lot of stress all the time, you get the cancers, you get stuff like that. And a lot of police dogs do get cancer and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you can tell in a dog day to day, like he'll get the diarrhea, stuff like that. That's an indicator of stress. Go ahead.
Is the dog trained to detect long dead bodies?
A cadaver? Yeah, I know that's all in the news right now, the cadaver searching. I've been told by senior handlers and stuff that there's a line when a body's dead that it goes from being human scent to being an animal. and he can find it. Because if I take him out searching for a person and there's a dead deer back there, he's going to get distracted. We talked about distraction. He's going to be distracted to that. But he shows a different indication when it's a human scent versus animal scent. You can't get that out of a dog. They love dead animals, right? They're going to be rolling in it the whole bit. So yeah, my dog's not specifically trained for cadaver, but he will indicate if there is a body out there. And along those same lines, these last 2 dogs are drug trained. And usually as a kind of a special treat, I'll hide drugs. I could have done it today because of the clientele, but you never know. I'm not looking at anyone. I gave a presentation a couple years ago in Saskatchewan. There's 300 people there. I thought, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to hide some drugs under these benches. It's an outside forum. And then I thought, oh, man. So I said, if anyone, I know no one has this controlled substance on, in the next 5 minutes, you might want to leave. Well, then 10 people get out. I was like, I said, because otherwise, if my dog sits beside you and that's not where I hit something, we're going to have to meet after. Paperwork, I hate paperwork. We'll call it a day. So yeah, he's a drug dog. My very first dog was an explosive dog. We worked the Olympics in the G8 in Toronto, which was fun. Good times. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you were saying that you live on a farm.
Yeah.
And your dogs are trained to completely ignore other animals.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Like if you see a rabbit or...
Yeah, it's funny. From such a young age, you desensitize them to all the thing that is wild in their head. Like Mako now, he's my shepherd, like a true shepherd. I have sheep, so he goes out with the sheep, and he has no inclination to attack them. Now Haro attacked my alpaca, so I haven't quite got the animal out of him yet. But yeah, animals to them aren't exciting. It's humans are exciting to them. Yeah, so, yes?
With the new drug laws coming out, how's that going to work with the dogs that are trained to search for marijuana? Are they going to untrain a dog to do that?
Yeah, you can untrain, yeah, for sure, because a lot after the Olympics, when you had all these explosive dogs and they wanted to turn them back to drug dogs, you can untrain them on explosives and now drugs. And we haven't been told anything about the marijuana side of it, because technically, I guess we'll have to untrain them on marijuana, because now it would be legal. And then there's implications. Okay, you pull a car over, there's drugs in it, and he indicates on it. Well, is he indicating on the marijuana, or is he indicating on something else? I hate drug searching. I hate drugs. I hate everything about drugs. I can't stand them, because 90% of my job is drugs and alcohol somewhere. So I am adamant against any kind of drugs, and whether it be marijuana or whatever. I know there's advocates, whatever, and it's BC, but I can't stand it. Unfortunately, I rode back on the airplane a couple weeks ago from Regina with a marijuana advocate who, he had to tell me and everyone 10 rows around us all about marijuana and all the joys of it. But I said, what about the driving component? That's the biggest sticking point. We can't get a hold on impaired driving in this country. We can't even deal with impaired driving. Now you're going to add a new component of impaired by drug, and we have no way to even test it. Like, people are crappy enough drivers anyway. And then you throw alcohol, now you throw marijuana on, and marijuana everyone thinks it's great. Everyone thinks, oh, everyone's so great on marijuana. Oh, okay, whatever. And I had to listen to this dork for, an hour and a half. Go ahead.
Say in Vancouver,
yes,
per capita, like how many people are there, like yourself, employed in this?
I used to work in Surrey, and Surrey was like Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Surrey, and I think there's 50 dog handlers down there. And now they're kind of amalgamating, like some of the private, like Delta, now they train their dogs through the RCMP, because we have such an elaborate training facility that a lot of municipal dog forces will come to us and say, yeah, let's train your standards, because we're world renowned as far as our training goes. Yeah. So, time for 2 more questions. These 2, go ahead.
In your 10-hour workday,
Uh-oh.
how many calls, like how would you know that I'm called to go to that situation there?
I get all the best calls. I don't get the cat in the tree calls or my neighbor peed on my yard calls. I get the fun superhero calls, okay?
But how do you do it on the phone?
Oh, I got it on my radio. Yeah, right here. I got my radio turned off right now, but yeah, they'll call me and say, hey, we need a dog right now. And it's not 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes ago. That's when they need me. Mm-hmm. Now I can go, and when I'm off shift at 5 o'clock tonight, I'm on call until I start my shift tomorrow. So if my partner's away, it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And when I was in Saskatchewan, it was 4 years, 24 hours a day. And okay, we need you in Yorkton. I remember one of my first calls I got, they said, we need you in Hudson Bay. I said, where's that? I said, you mean like Hudson Bay? And they said, no, there's a place in Saskatchewan called Hudson Bay. I said, okay, I can go there. It's only 8 hours at 160 kilometers an hour, but last question.
Is there ever an occasion where there would be 2 dog handlers working simultaneously together on a procedure?
Yes, there is. I know Vancouver does it quite well. They have kind of they'll get someone in a perimeter and they'll hold them in there, and you can't work the dogs offline at the same time because as much as they want the person, they'll want each other too. But they will, if you're searching a big area with dogs, yeah, no problem. Tracking's a little different. And I've heard of cases where a guy will track for 5 kilometers and say, okay, I'm done now, the dog's done. You start from here, and they can continue on that way. You can't track 2 dogs at the same time, right? But if you had to search a big complex, like during the Olympics, we had to search like BC Place, where we got 30 dogs in there.
So the dogs would never be in close proximity?
No, because it's just a distraction thing, yeah. But and some dogs are fine, like my 2 dogs there, they could ride in the same kennel in the truck, they're fine. The other one, not so much. So, but I want to thank you all, this is fantastic.